Hey, it's CW of the Burbank Misfits. And of course, once again, I am joined by my wonderful host, Raw Star. How's it going, Raw Star? It looks like
Hey,
it's
what's
us
up?
starting off the beginning of the episode.
Hey, what's up? It was a good opener. Okay. I mean, by the time you did it, it's only been 140, like this 148th episode. So
Hey, better late than never, man. Better
it
late
only
than
it
never. You
only
know
it
what
only,
they
it only,
say.
it only, it only took, only took 5 years. It only took 5 years for you to do it. So yeah, we were supposed to have a guest today, but we don't know what happened. So we're just gonna talk about
She's probably just a
random.
little late or inconvenienced. We understand.
Yeah, so so we're just gonna talk about random events that's going on. But let's first just talk about the check mark.
Oh, the check mark. Elon was trying to make that money back and it just blew up in his face a little bit.
Yeah, I
But
think
the shit, what flipped me out is this thing behind behind the scenes. They're like, oh, bro, we was already selling check marks. It was just for 15,000 though.
I
Like,
mean
oh,
like
okay.
there's some people who I believe were deserving of it that had to go out and pay for it, and now like everybody has it. I just
Don't
think
mean a
so.
motherfucking thing.
I just think
I
it's
thought about
so.
getting it.
I did too. I did too. But the thing is, like, I don't have an iPhone.
Oh, I do.
Yeah,
Yeah, I could
I
be
was, I,
verified in this bitch.
I was, I
$8
was,
a month.
I was
Because it's gonna
seriously,
do so much now, just $8 a month.
I was seriously considering coming to you, asking to use your phone to pay
Oh,
for
to
it with
make
my
Burbank
card.
Misfits or to make yours? Yeah, I mean, I'll see you later.
Burbank
So we can do
Misfits
that.
and your like my car. Yeah, I was gonna come over to your place, use your phone, verify.
Fuck it. Let's get
Yeah, I
verified
think
and
it's too,
buy
I
a
think it's, I
million
think it's too
fol-
late
and build
now.
and buy a million followers.
They took it down already.
Damn.
They took it down because everybody was impersonating like
Oh
fake
yeah, I
accounts,
saw it.
and like they dropped the Eli Lilly. People thought the Eli Lilly thing was real, and their stock dropped.
Wow, for the insulin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for the
right.
insulin.
That's crazy.
Yeah, people like someone literally posted a picture
People
of.
like, yeah, thank you. We ain't give a fuck.
Yeah, I
It's
mean, like
America.
they sold their stock because they thought it was real, and they thought that Eli Lilly was,
Profits over progress.
doing some stuff, far left, people, hating, anything far left. And as of right now, everybody, I don't know, this we're recording this on Saturday, so I'm not gonna get into election stuff, but like they're still counting in one of the counties right now. So people thought that they went far left and they got scared. That's why I'm betting.
Yep, yep.
But honestly, like I understand what he was trying to do, but I feel that it wasn't done correctly. You know?
Oh, you talking about Elon?
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, because I'm also it's like getting return on investment, and then if you're a real, it's the idea that bots and like people wouldn't impersonate other people. So I believe the thing is they could have changed the issue is if you had to have your display name be the same as your account, then you couldn't impersonate people.
Yeah. Well, also because of this, and this is what I was talking to. This was before they went live, and whatever. I was talking to a friend of mine, a porn star friend of mine, and I was saying, well, this is when they were canceling pages that were impersonating people, and I'm like, well, since you don't use your real name on here, you know, and there's so many fake porn star pages out there, how can
Mm-hmm.
they verify like it's you if you don't have like if your page was deleted before and you're a porn performer and you only have 3,000 followers, but your impersonation page has like 6,000,
Ooh,
you
Twitter
know.
would have to have like some kind of identity verification.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, well, how do you go about doing that? It makes it a lot more work for the Twitter employees, unless like literally they had like you had to have your passport or your ID, whatever,
Well,
and
I
to
mean,
have it up. But then you have to go back to, how do you verify that you are this? Like because like but people don't know
well, there's
my
other
real name.
sites
Yeah.
in crypto. There's various things that they have image verification that is pretty much automated. So, like, yeah, I guess somebody could impersonate someone, but someone really they could really use that, and yeah, that would cause a lot more work and a lot more need for space. And also, it'd be like, oh, Twitter has like, they may not be messing with your, like, have money, have access to your financials, but they have access to like your data and all that stuff, like, well, where you live and stuff like that. And so, and we see people are selling check marks for $15,000. Who knows who would sell whose actual information if they sent it in.
Understood. But
So
also,
it'd be
well,
hard to remain anonymous in any way on totally anonymous or pretty much anonymous on Twitter if they did some kind of identity verification. Even though that'd probably be the best way to go.
yeah, but again, it's like
Then people would think about twice about what they tweet too.
but then a lot of people don't want to like go through the process of showing their real name and whatever,
Yeah,
or and then like it just gets really really messy. And then if you're a business, it's like, okay, I run this business, but how can you tell blah blah blah, And like because anybody can get anybody's EIN number or business tax ID number, stuff like anything like that. So it just becomes a cluster of, people faking everything.
mm-hmm.
So I mean it's not too far fetched, but it's just like, you know,
Yeah, I understand. Yeah,
because I can't like even though yes, we as the Burbank Misfit, we have an EIN, but like I can prove that I have the EIN, but it just gets messy when you try to get prove you were that entity's business. So
yeah, it'd be a lot of work for everybody.
and so yeah, that's why everybody keeps saying like he's just driving the company to the ground.
Well, I don't know if he's probably driving the company into the
Well,
ground.
but I do think he did one thing, and like people ignored it, but I think it's a smart business move. Basically, he's getting his money back slowly from everybody who's spending $5.
Yeah, yeah. Think about. I mean, yeah, yeah.
At least two. I'm gonna say at least 30,000 people died it that first day, and that's at minimum. That's at
Yeah.
minimum right there. And like $5, and if he kept it all, whatever, that's 150,000 right there.
I wouldn't be surprised if you made cool million off of that.
Yeah, and so that's just then like they pay it like over time. Like you pay for a year. I don't know like how it was. It was like a year up front, or it was a one time $5 payment, whatever.
No, it
Um,
was a monthly subscription.
no, I mean like
That's what
if you had like so it was 1 5. Okay, it wasn't like you had
No,
to
it
pay a
was
year.
every month. So
I
yeah.
understand, but I know some people do. Like some companies have like it's $5
No,
a
but
month. You know,
Twitter was
so
it was supposed to be $8 a month.
$8.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's 100. Yeah. So if they pay that, like I say, like yeah, and then more people would jump onto it because it wasn't available on the Droid. So I feel like if it was available on a Droid and iPhone at the same time, he would
Oh
have made a
yeah, it would have
lot more
blown
money.
up.
because not saying that a lot of people don't use iPhones,
No, there's more
but
Droid users.
there's
More
more
Droid
Droid
users.
users, and he would have made a like the entire timeline basically would have just been check marks. So I've seen a lot
I
of people
mean, it was
like
smart to kind of test it out on a smaller market.
I mean it worked properly. I just think they just didn't know how
Well,
to
no,
didn't
it didn't seem like it worked at all the way
well
it
it
came.
didn't work it didn't work out because they didn't have no verification. Because I seen a tweet earlier that I thought was hilarious. Oh, and he's gone. I'm gonna pause for a second. Oh, there you go. That it was something that made me laugh earlier. It was like someone impersonating Ben Sharpo,
Shapiro.
Shapiro, and it was saying like, oh my god, it was saying like him and his sister. I have to find it. I found it hilarious, but it was just basically saying the only thing that him and his oh, I forgot it. Oh well, never mind. I thought it was hilarious. I can't think what it was. But it was just based on we're talking about him and his sister and the gender words. I found it. The difference between sex and gender is I never wanted to have gender with my sister.
Oh, incest joke.
And it was a check mark next to the name. So if you just saw the picture and you didn't, read the name of it, yes.
You might think it's
Oh,
Shapiro.
speaking of incest, Chris Cockett sent me
Uh,
huh?
Go ahead.
Chris Cockett sent me a message, and they said like Clueless was the inspiration for loving your stepsister. Clueless is the biggest promotion for step sibling sex, and I'll allow
I mean,
it.
technically true. Technically true.
I mean, at the time, he wasn't his stepsister. Well, it was his ex stepsister, but
Yeah.
I don't think they ever said how long they were actually married for. Him and
Yeah, but wasn't he like 6 years older than her, some shit?
oh yeah, so it was step siblings. I just turned 18. Uh,
Wow.
yeah. I mean, even though what's the name is a vampire.
All right.
Paul Rudd, yeah. Even though Paul Rudd is a vampire, we don't really understand his age. But yeah, but we can also just see where it's gonna go because they say they might bring it back, but as of right now, they took it down already, and the check mark.
Bro.
So we'll see like what they will do next, but you never know. Anywho,
Anywho.
with this whole do you want to talk about Kanye?
What I mean, I saw somebody interviewed him in a car recently, and he just felt like he said he was feeling disrespected. But what exactly? I mean, he's a little unhinged. How do you feel about it, Rostar?
See, the thing is this, and this is something I've said before, because people always say, "Well, black people cannot be anti-Semitic," and I'm saying this: black people can be racist, just like white people can be racist, or Asian people can be racist, or blah blah, etc. And everybody can be, and you can also be a xenophobe or whatever.
Yes.
And in my opinion, yes, his comments was anti-Semitic, just like people try to jump on Kyrie. The thing is this: it's like if you're defending him, you can defend him, but you can't say that someone of a certain culture can't be this because they are this. You know? And like someone pointed out, they said
What'd you
if
say? Say it again.
you can't say that someone can't be hateful, racist, etc. because
If
they're black.
they're
If they're
because
black.
they're bar so if they're a part of a oppressed group, they can't be so you can't say they can't be hateful.
Yeah, that's what
Is
everybody's
that
saying.
what you're saying?
They're saying because
No, I'm saying that's what you're saying, right?
yeah.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Okay, I'm like, are you gonna jump on me? Because like,
No, I'm not about to jump on you. I'm just saying so like yeah, they're right. Some of their statements were anti-Semitic, but the people who are actually in these position of power, don't you think they're racist? I personally
oh,
believe this whole
I
thing.
know they are. But the thing is like, I'm not saying I'm not gonna go out here and bash somebody of a certain religious ethnicity, etc. The
Yeah, I
categories,
understand that.
and that's when it gets messy. You can say, yeah, technically, people who are Jewish own most of the companies, etc., etc., which is accurate. But when you start getting into the category of saying that this Jew MFer is the reason, whatever, or these Jewish MFers do all this, whatever, that's when you get into the category of being hateful and spiteful and stuff like that.
I mean, people do it with us all the time, but it's
Yeah,
okay.
and I still
It,
find it racist.
yeah, I mean, it's racist.
Racist,
I'm just
culturalist, or
saying it's
xenophobia.
racist. But like personally, we live in LA, and here's how I think of it. Yeah, it was in poor taste, and it was wrong to blame Jewish people uh, for the troubles, for the things the troubles he feels that black artists and black people have. What I will say is this: is that we live in LA, and you've been all around LA,
Uh-huh.
and I'll say this: I've seen all kinds of Jewish people.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen people with blonde hair and blue eyes with a yarmulke on, with red hair with a yarmulke on, all kinds of all shades of white. So it's just regular old white supremacy. And it's just white people who happen to be Jewish that are
Yeah.
in those positions of power who think this way. And I think us as black people, we have a long memory about people who help us. That's why I think sometimes we're so in love with the Democratic Party. Um, but we always think about like, oh, when we think about Jewish people, and especially, actually things we've watched, like you think about like, oh, what about those Jewish kids that marched, down the South that died?
Uh-huh.
Like we have a long memory for that. So it's like, wait, Jewish people are our friends, but you have to think about how generations change also. You may have kids, those kids people of that generation, they were coming off their own recent holocaust. So to look at another group and see a kind of thing happening to this new place you've come from, or a place where your family had to flee or your family died, it's like, okay, yes, we have to help these people, but all it takes is a generation of acceptance from the majority for you to forget all that.
Yeah.
And we never moved beyond, in the macro way, as far as the systems, we've never moved away from being a commodity to others. So what they're basically doing is just doing what you do to black people in America. So the
Yeah.
thing is, what people have to do is, instead of saying, hey, I'm of them, no, I am of me, I am of us, and we need to stick together. We need to, we're looking for power in someone else's house when we should be building our own house where we have power. But that's just me,
I mean, you're right. You're right. I mean, like, I agree with you.
because they've shown us just how much by what we're pushed towards. Things where they can give and take power. We're not pushed into any kind of institutions traditionally Black people, I feel, aren't, to where power where we can establish and take power without a white person, or a person that a white person can take it away. So that's why we're not pushed towards the financial sector, because, money, especially in this space now, money doesn't really have a face sometimes. So you can become a millionaire and you can do things behind the scenes that you wouldn't be able to. But then make sure we push I think, Black millionaires and Black billionaires to the forefront, and they become more easy targets than being able to actually sit back and build a network.
Yeah, because like I feel that, as they say, it be your own people. So when certain people, have money that are Black, whatever, they always find that token person to try to break them all the way down, and then people, follow that. Then it becomes like an ongoing cycle of trying their best to destroy them. And I feel like, we currently live in a society now that, it's easier to get someone completely canceled for saying certain things, even if it was taken in context or out of context.
That's true. But I think they're showing who has the power and who decides, and it's not necessarily the people.
I know. I mean, I get it, but I'm just saying, like, it's just weird about how things can be construed to allow certain things.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then when it comes to Kanye, I feel that like he pushed the issue deeper and deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
And I feel like, like I'm not going to talk about, people with mental health issues, but they said like a lot of the stuff that he's saying is because of that issue, and because that he's not taking his medicine. So is sober people it's kind of, it's just like I don't want to make it seem like he's crazy, but it's just like he needs someone to step in his corner. And they said ever since his mother.
I mean, he needs like I guess he's saying what he wants to say, but he needs like a Luther, somebody translating like, what are you really trying to say?
A Luther?
Yeah. Like on Key and Peele, like somebody to translate his.
Okay. A middleman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I believe it would help. I feel that if he had somebody, stopping him from saying certain things, it would be beneficial, because this is the same man people are defending that said, slavery was a choice.
Now, we've had that discussion, and that's the thing I always say about, like, I'm not saying I know how Kanye's mind thinks, but yes, in the context of how we are taught to view things in America, slavery was a choice. I'll explain. What's one of the first things we taught growing up on a daily basis?
If you're referring to the either or scenario of you can do this or die, then yes.
Give me liberty or give me death. We're taught that as Americans from a very small age. So when you look at through that context, through that belief system, then slavery is a choice. But in a different time, in a different place, the most valuable thing is your life. So you would do anything to preserve that of your life and those of your children, even bondage. So, in the context of the American ideal of a free white man, yes, slavery is a choice. But in the real context of a person really living in those circumstances, it's never a choice. Especially when their life is valuable to them. And the most thing, like, people think people have nothing, but people have their lives and those are valuable to them.
Yeah.
People do so much to survive, to stay alive. So, like, if you feel like your freedom, like here in America, your freedom is more important than your life, then yeah, slavery was a choice. Just like all these, and then, just like all these people with fucking COVID. I'd rather die than have my personal freedoms infringed upon, and then they died.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just read something that just hurt my brain a lot. Like, you ever read something that it just hurt? Like I feel like you just bust a brain vessel or something like that.
I mean, sometimes it's usually when people are being intentionally vague or like.
Mitch McConnell is a very effective Democrat.
What weird reading a title from?
This is from this is from an actual, a real account, not a someone who bought it. And people are just attacking Mitch McConnell right now. Republicans are. Right this second. This is 11:12, everybody.
I guess.
Everybody's attacking because they feel that he wasted so much money in Alaska and he didn't waste money in Nevada.
Oh.
Because and of course a Republican is going to win in Alaska. And it was basically two Republicans running that were leading the polls last whatever. So basically they said he wasted money on that, and he could have gave money to the dude who was going against Kelly in Nevada. And they ended up losing. And everybody is blaming Mitch McConnell right now. And it's like y'all are attacking like y'all turtle god right now. It's
I better leave the master of disguise alone.
Oh my god! Did Dana Carvey play him on SNL?
No.
Please tell me he did. That would have just been.
No,
That would have
Mitch
just been
McConnell
perfect.
really young. We're not young, but no, he never played him.
No, I meant like they have people come back,
No,
and
they've never had. Nah, Dana Carvey hasn't been back to SNL since he left. I don't think.
I always wondered. So, on another tip, you read about they were slavery was on the ballots in 5 states.
Yeah, but shit, that ain't nothing new.
Yeah, and what, like it failed, like it stopped in 4 states, and 1 state voted to keep it.
Oh, well, doesn't a lot of that have to do with prison?
It's prison. It's basically prison labor. Prison is basically forced labor in bondage. So that was the 13, and people who have issues with the 13th Amendment. That is why a lot of them celebrate June 19th, over celebrating December 6th. Because June 19th is when Texas, found out they were free. And December 6th is January, June 19th, 1865 was just Texas. Just this part of Texas. December 6th, 1865 was when North Carolina and all of the other states released their slaves. So it was a whole bunch of months later. And people find in the 13th Amendment, it said that you can't force somebody into labor as far as slavery was. But when it comes to if they're imprisoned or if they are or they owe you money, you can put them into some type of college
Yeah, it's to keep
confinement.
people with finance. Yeah, keep it's so people can stay in prison,
Yeah.
so they can still lock people up.
So basically, that was still, I mean, that's in the amendment. And these 5 states were voting on to get rid of it, basically, get rid of that little thing to say, you can't force somebody into doing solitary confinement. That's what I was looking for, or a form of slavery. And four of the 5 states of the ballot was on passed to say, yeah, let's get rid of that, and that was Alabama, Oregon, Tennessee, and Vermont. But Louisiana was like, nah, keep them people
Nah,
slaves.
prison labor is a whole economy, bro.
I, don't,
People don't want to give it up.
I mean, especially in private prisons.
Yeah,
But I feel that I mean, I understand, but it's like, you're still forcing someone to do something against their will. And many people who do this aren't getting anything taken off their time for doing it.
they get paid.
The smile you just made is hilarious.
Pennies, pennies is paying.
They don't like when I think of this, I think about the Shawshank Redemption.
Hmm.
Yeah, when the dude just yeah, when I think were they like repaving a roof or something.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what I think about.
Yeah, it's like that. But that's totally legal now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and it's slavery technically ended in 1865, and here we are still. We're
Nah,
still.
it never. I mean, chattel slavery ended.
I mean,
Americans had to find a new way.
slavery in the sense of shackles, yes, ended, but slavery in the
Did it?
sense
Prison? It's still shackles.
shackles in the fact that how can I phrase
No, I
this?
mean slavery. As far as chattel slavery, meaning more people being born into slavery. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a.
So yeah, so that ended, but as far as everything else, it's been going on, and we've been okay with that. And the fact that, like, I jokingly said this, but it's technically true because people don't understand this. Like, if a person in California is arrested by a federal agent for having marijuana, he can go to jail because weed is illegal federally. Statewide, it is still technically legal. It's still legal. Just like, oh, by the way, Maryland legalized weed, so
Oh
now you
shit!
can buy weed in Baltimore now. Anyway, um, train of thought.
I mean,
So yeah, so like in Mississippi, on paper, they never made the 13th Amendment law until 2013.
hmm,
February
that's
February
wild.
6th, 2013 is when they signed into law the 13th Amendment. So
Wonder who
technically,
saw that. Was like,
well, they noticed it in the 90s and like 96, I think it was 96, 95,
we'll
96. And they said, oh, we will send this to the
get to it.
proper, we'll send it to the proper channels. And they started it and they just let it go. Like a clerk in the 90s noticed it and they sent it to the proper channels and they just said, okay, we'll get to it. And they forgot about it. Then they finally got to it in 2013. It's like, okay, slavery should be illegal in this state on paper. So on paper, if you had a slave like they did in the 1800s, you technically were not breaking the law. because it was
I mean,
legally.
federally that you're breaking the law,
Yeah,
but
federally, yes. But if it's like, as I'm saying, like it depends on who had arrested you. Like if you get like because right
yeah,
now, if you get arrested for having marijuana and a state cop arrests you, you can there's no charges because it's legal statewide.
yeah,
So if a federal judge had arrested you, you can go to jail because federally it's illegal.
yeah.
And that's what some people don't understand. And I know it gets flickery within that, you know. But that's here and there about what is and what is not legal. But I do want to touch on this like at some point since we've been on for a second. Everybody out there who does listen to us, we're launching a Patreon. We kind of have launched the Patreon, but it's being launched right now. Right now you can go ahead on there. I'm gonna start posting it up probably after this podcast go live on Monday, but you can go on there. We have different tiers for different things that we plan on putting up. And I feel that many of the tiers you might like more than others because, like, since I've adjusted some of the stuff that how we record our podcasts, since we do it over Zoom right now, and if we do one in person, it'd be a different outlook. But I think there's 7 different tiers that's on there, and it gives you the opportunity if you want to, help us out a great deal. Becoming someone who wants to give us like $10, whatever, to help make sure we can function, we can do more things, and we can actually travel because there's some people wanting us to travel to different places and do ones in person and do this bigger for you all, and that takes a lot of work. But however, also on the Patreon, though, there's been many different times throughout our years that we've had uncensored videos of people we've been recording that were, video ready. We can't put those up because it wasn't in the format that I'm recording them now. But you can get the uncensored version of those. Since I do photography, I will occasionally post pictures of the photo shoots that we do. You can get behind the scenes stuff that we plan on doing. Currently, right now, we're working on our merch page, whatever. So whenever I get that finalized, you can walk around, with your Burbank Misfits merch, and I'm sure that Mr. CC Fitness is going to put up his stuff that he sells for his gym. And you can walk around, and support, CC Fitness. Have your own CC Fitness shirt or bag or whatever. His bags are really nice that he had. Just to throw that out there. But yeah, also in the tiers, it's a tier on there if you want to be a co-host for one of our episodes or 2 of our episodes or whatever. And you could actually join us talking to whichever model or persona or personality that we have on. Today we didn't have one, but you could have joined in on this conversation, or the person we were supposed to have on, if she was able to come today, you could have had a conversation with her. And the only thing we asked for is, to be respectful of, of the guests. But past that, you can sit back and enjoy, just these mindless conversations. So that's going live, and I hope that you're able to, just give a little bit of support because we do this. We've been doing this for a while now, and we don't have sponsors. So everything we've been doing, and we used to give guests like a package for being on, and it will allow us to go back and to give them that incentive, for being one of our guests. So yeah. It's going to be patreon.com/Burbank Misfits or something like that. But it will be on our Twitter and my Twitter, and I'm sure CW is going to post it too. So just want to make sure y'all knew about that. So is there anything else in current events you want to discuss before CW?
For what?
Before we no,
Before
just
what?
it looked like you froze for a
Before
second.
we end?
Before we end, yes.
No, because it's the end.
No, it wasn't actually. I just wanted to throw that Patreon thing in there, but
Oh, I thought we were close. Nah, not today. I think there's more things to discuss at length. I haven't been keeping up with current events so often.
yeah, everything I know right now, like those are the big stories, and of course the election, which it looks like Republicans are going to take the House, but it looks like Democrats are going to keep the Senate, and they're still at the time of this recording, everybody they're still arguing that entire Colorado third district. Personally, I hope that the Republican in that office loses, but we'll see how that turns out. That's Lauren Boebert, by the way. So we'll see how that goes. So, but yeah, so go ahead, just well, we can end now. Go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you and everything.
You can find me at CC Fitness LA on Twitter, Instagram, and you'll probably find it on Facebook too. But you can also find me at CC Fitness also on Facebook and on TikTok, also AKA Chris Tried. Check me out.
You can find me, RAWSTARR on Twitter and on Instagram. We are the Burbank Misfits on Instagram, Burbank Misfits on Facebook and on Twitter, and on YouTube. If you still want to watch our old videos, that's where we're going to post the PG versions also. If they show any nudity, we're just going to blur them out. Like the first video of the videos we recorded in the new format has nudity like throughout the entire video. So I can't post it on Instagram because I don't feel like blurring it out. But going forward, we're gonna post the videos on there too. So go ahead and check that out. You can also check our old videos out that we did years ago. Some of them are still, culturally relevant, and some of them aren't. So make sure you go ahead and check all that out. I have no idea who we will have on next. But I hope everybody will stay have a blessed week. And if there is no video before Thanksgiving, have a happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays, and we'll catch y'all next time.